Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So we had a bit of a couple of bad days in the office the last couple of days. Tuesday was not good at all. I think we learned a couple of really good lessons on Tuesday. We didn't have the best start yesterday either, but we kind of pulled things back in the second game yesterday. So hopefully we're back on track today. And we finished off yesterday with a QR code series. Had a really good couple of games with that team. So we featured that Driblim Tapu team and the Whimsicott there. I'll not give any of the results away in that match, but definitely worth a watch if you guys haven't seen that already. So really good. And just to reiterate the points that I made yesterday, if there is teams that you want to see featured on that QR code series, just let me know in the comment section below and then we can sort those out. So, let's pick our music. That's the most important thing for today, isn't it? We'll go with the Battle Royale music today because that is pretty fun. So I had a couple of games off camera because we had a bit of a nightmare yesterday when I was trying to record my QR code series. So I had like 6 disconnects in a row, which was just a nightmare. So our rating took a bit of a tanking. So I've taken the time just to have a couple of games before we record this episode, get us back up a little bit higher and back on track, hopefully. So, and hopefully with those games that we've played as well, just prior to now, it's kind of got me a little bit warmed up. So we'll have a lot better battles for you today, I hope, anyway. So, how are you guys? Hope everyone's alright, enjoying their Thursday, getting ready for the weekend. Obviously, tomorrow is the big day for the Sao Paulo International Championships to kick off. So, again, I've said it all week, but to everyone I know going out there and playing this weekend, and just to everyone in general that's out there, just I hope everyone's having a brilliant time. And do keep an eye out for the results and how that is going, guys, because I'm sure that'll be a very exciting tournament. It's our third international championship that we've had this season, so this is the third out of 4. So we've got this one and then the one in Indianapolis, which will be in the United States, will finish us off for the season, and then we'll be on to World. So that'll be really exciting to kind of take us down the road and keep up to date with how players are doing. But we have our first opponent of the day from Japan, 1561 rating, so not the highest, but running a team of Tapu, Lele, Drifblim, Togedemaru, Garchomp, Oranguru and Torkoal. So very interesting there. Obviously got the mirror with the Lele, the Drifblim and the Garchomp there. And then we've got that interesting Trick Room core of Oranguru and Torkoal as well, that we need to be very careful of. So there's a very apparent switch mode here in the team. We've got the fast Tailwind mode with the Lele Blim, and then the slow mode with that Instruct Eruption combination from the Oranguru. Torkoal, you've got the Garchomp there that's just all around good stuff, and then the Togedemaru that can offer that nice fake out support. It has Encore for Disruption and the Lightning Rod, but thankfully we don't really have any electric type attacks in our team, so we don't need to worry about that too much. Now, I would expect my opponent here to lead off with that Oranguru and Torkoal possibly, so I don't really expect to see the Lele Drifblim come out here, but I could be very wrong. So what are we going to do? I think I'm going to lead off Garchomp, Arcanine. Do I want to bring Snorlax to this game? Snorlax could be very good this game. I think I am going to bring Snorlax to this game, and we'll round things off with see, as soon as we get rid of the Torkoal, Celesteela becomes very good. So I think I'm going to use that as my 4th choice here, and we'll go into this game. So we need to make sure if that Torkoal is being brought to this game, we take care of it. Celesteela should be able to then come in and do a good job. We have to be careful with the Togedemaru with those Zing Zaps and the electric stabs that it can throw at us, but we should be alright. And we've got the white screen, so it's taken ages to load up. But there we go. Let's see what my opponent leads off with. As I say, I think it'll probably be the Torkoal Oranguru. It matches up really nicely against the Drifblim Lele. But I eat my words, we do see the Drifblim Lele from my opponent's side of the field. So, straight away, we need to be very careful of the Will-O-Wisp, potential Will-O-Wisp onto the Garchomp. There's always the threat of the Tailwind, and that Lele can fire off big attacks. But we do know from the tiers that we've seen things setting off. The Intimidate went before the Psychic Train went up, so we know Arcanine is faster than that Tapu Lele. So what I'm going to do here to avoid any burns on my Garchomp, I'm going to switch in my could switch in my Celesteela here and just Snarl. That might be a nice option. Because it's more likely that my opponent goes for the Tailwind here rather than the... Yeah, so I'm going to switch in the Celesteela for my Garchomp, and I'm just going to go for a Snarl with my Arcanine. Just get some chip damage on both of my opponent's Pokemon, and hopefully reduce that special attack, which both of my opponent's Pokemon are. So, bring in the Celesteela. Now that's going to be able to take the Psychic, either that or the Moonblast. But we just see the Tapu Lele protect here, and we'll probably see a Moonblast come out, Tailwind from the Drifblim, yeah. So there's that Tailwind. And we'll get the Snarl off with our Arcanine, which is nice. So we do reduce the special attack of that Drifblim. Now here, we are in a nice position to go for a heavy slam into that Lele, and even burnt, we're going to be doing about 50% damage to it. So we can just quite safely go for a heavy slam here. I'm just going to protect Arcanine this turn, because I don't want to take a Shattered Psyche. That's the main kind of threat at the minute. If that Tapu Lele goes for a Shattered Psyche into the Arcanine slot, it has the potential to take us down. So just protecting kind of gets around that. We do see that Will-O-Wisp come out, but we avoid, so it's a huge avoid there. And we are going to see the Shattered Psyche like we expected into the Arcanine slot. So good job we protected there. It will mean we're not taking as much damage and we're not potentially being KO'd there. So safest play, and we waste my opponent's Z-move to some extent anyway. It still will be doing a bit of damage. As we all know, Z-moves can hit through protects. So yeah, Arcanine taking that like a champ, and we're actually, because we've avoided that Will-O-Wisp, we're going to be able to get a full power heavy slam off. This should pick up the KO. Yeah, and very fortunate there. Will-O-Wisp, 85% accurate moves, so there is every chance it can miss. It is risky every time you do use it, so really going in our favour there, but we'll take that while we can, and making this matchup a little bit easier. So I totally expect the Torkoal, if my opponent's brought it, to come in now, but it is the Garchomp on my opponent's end, so I don't mind seeing that as much. So I think here what I'm going to do, we've seen the Z move from my opponent. I am actually expecting maybe a Sword Stance here. So to cover my bases, I'm just going to go for a Will-O-Wisp and a Leech Seed into that Garchomp. If it goes for the Sword Stance, at least we'll be able to get the Will-O-Wisp off onto it and a Leech Seed, so we should start being able to chip it down a bit more. Do you see the Will-O-Wisp? It does connect with that Celesteela this turn round. And yeah, there's that Sword Stance. So hopefully we catch it with the Will-O-Wisp, kind of nullify that Sword Stance. Yeah, and Arcanine has his glasses on, so we do hit and totally eradicate that Sword Stance this turn. But there's nothing to say that my opponent can't just go for another Sword Stance this next turn. So we do need to be careful of that. But we don't need to worry too much about the Tectonic Rage coming out from that Garchomp, because we've already seen the Shattered Psyche, which is quite nice. So, what are we going to do here? What have I got in the back? I've got Garchomp and Snorlax. So, I think I'm going to start... I'm going to go for a Leech Seed onto the Drifblim, and I'm going to switch in... I wonder whether just to keep my Arcanine in, to be honest. I'm going to go for a Flare Blitz into the Drifblim slot. I'm just going to keep Arcanine in, because the Garchomp may go for another Sword Stance here. So we'll see what it does go for. We see Shadow Ball from the Drifblim come out, So might just be going for an Earthquake to get rid of that Arcanine. Do get the special defense, and we see another Sword Dance from that Garchomp. So putting itself back up to +2, becoming a big threat now. But we have doubled in to the Drifblim with that Flare Blitz. Which does really good damage. And the Leech Seed as well. Hopefully it hits, and it does. So we'll just heal up a bit with our leftovers, and then all this Leech Seed recovery as well. So that Drifblim will go down this next turn. Potentially will set up another Tailwind. But now I'm just going to concentrate all my efforts onto this Garchomp. I want to get a heavy slam off into it, and I'm just going to Flare Blitz into it. Because if Arcanine goes down here, I don't really want to switch anything in. Although I could switch Snorlax in, I guess. Yeah, and get another Intimidate off onto that Garchomp. It might be handy. So I'm going to switch in Snorlax for my Arcanine. Go for a heavy slam onto it. Get some more damage onto it. And then at least we've got the Intimidate to bring back in, just to reduce the boost that that Garchomp has kind of given itself. So we just see a Tailwind from the Drifblim, setting that up for the latter part of the game. And we see a Fire Fang into the Celesteela, but we avoid. So Celesteela dodging everything today. It wouldn't have been enough to take us down, I wouldn't have thought. But we get some good damage with that heavy slam onto the Garchomp. And we'll recover all of that lost health back through our Leech Seed and recovery again. And then my opponent will be down to his last 2 Pokemon. So I'll be interested to see what my opponent's last Pokemon is. I wonder if it is that. I can't imagine it is the Torkoal, to be honest. Yeah, the Garchomp's going to go down this next turn, so that is fine. So what we can do is preserve our Snorlax, switch in our Arcanine, get an Intimidate off. Well, depending on what my opponent's last Pokemon is. If we want to preserve the Snorlax or not. But, yeah, and it's the Oranguru. So, I'm just going to protect my Celesteela here. And, yeah, I'm just going to bring in the Arcanine, sack the Arcanine, because I haven't got Protect on the Snorlax. Then I can bring Snorlax back in and we can start going to work on the Oranguru, because we have got the crunch on this Snorlax, but my opponent just forfeits, and that is that. So, very good start to today's episode, I should say. I'm kind of mixing my words up here. And good game to my opponent there. So, we will take that and move on to our next game. So, not bringing the Tapu Lele and the Drifblim there. I think it would have been too risky if my opponent had led the Oranguru and the Torkoal. Then we do have the Taunt, but I don't like relying on Taunt against the Orangurus, or just in general Trick Room setters that are on Porygon 2, because they could easily carry the Mental Herb, and once they've got the Trick Room up, they'd be free to just go for the Eruption, Instruct, and just really run through the team, or do enough damage to put us at such a position where we can't kind of come back from. So that was the reason why I led the way I did, and I think it worked out fine in the end. We didn't really struggle too much, and we got a bit fortunate with that Will-O-Wisp miss from the Drifblim turn 2. But saying that, you know, those things happen, so we've had that sort of thing happen to us, and like I say, it is a risk to use less accurate, if I can say, moves. So yeah, you know, there's always a chance that they will miss, and when they do, sometimes it is quite costly there. So it was a bit unfortunate for my opponent, but as I say, I think we would have been fine in the end, whatever the results there. So yeah. Obviously other things there, making that nice read into Garchomp, predicting that Swords Dance, and we've seen before that that's kind of not paid off at all, but it was fine in the end. We have our next opponent from Italy, Simone, and he is running a QR code team, so very similar to ours. It got the Drifblim Lele mirror with Garchomp, Gyarados, Pheromosa, and Magnezone. So And what are we going to do here? I do like Lele Drifblim against opposing Lele Drifblims. We do have to be very careful for the Magnezone though. That is going to be very threatening. But I think what I'll do, I'll go Lele Drifblim, and I've got to make a confession, guys. I think I've changed. No, we've got the right Drifblim. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll go Arcanine and we'll go Garchomp in the back. So yeah, I was just going to say, I thought I might have the wrong Drifblim on the team because I've been doing a bit of practice battling with Terrence, one of my friends. He's going out to Brazil to play this coming weekend, and I switched over the Drifblim that I'm using at the minute for another one that I originally ran on the first kind of construction of the team, and I thought I might not have switched it back, but I have, so we don't need to worry about that, and I've just rambled on for no reason. But hopefully this will be a good game. We do see the Drifblim and the Magnezone lead, so very good lead from my opponent here, taking advantage of my Tapu Lele lead. He will be able to get the Psychic Seed boost from my Tapu Lele straight away. But we do see that we are outspeeding the Drifblim here on my opponent's end of the field. I think here what I might do is, because I think this Magnezone is probably the Gigavolt Havoc variant, I think. And if it launches the Gigavolt Havoc into my Blim, then that is not going to be ideal. I think what I'll do, I want to really preserve my Drifblim here. I don't want to lose it. I don't want to just get a Tailwind up and lose it. I want to kind of bring it in later in the game and be able to utilize that Tailwind. So I'm going to switch it out. I know it's a bit counterintuitive because I lose my boosts, and I'm going to Shattered Psyche into that opposing Drifblim because that should be enough to KO it. And I think we've got enough to be able to play around, play out the Tailwind. But we just see a Shadow Ball. Okay, so potentially doubling up into my Tapu Lele here. And a Thunderbolt into my Tapu Lele as well. Okay. Wow, and we just survived in 2 HP. So, clutch EVs there, coming in massive for us. But we do see that that Magnezone is outspeeding our Tapu Lele, and that's one of the things that I kind of realised after putting the team together, that it's not ideal in a lot of situations where sometimes Magnezone do tend to outspeed. If they're running max speed, they will outspeed my Tapu Lele. But we do manage to get that Shattered Psyche off and take out that Drifblim. So that's at least one Pokemon down, and the potential Tailwind from my opponent's side of the field gone. Now we do threaten that Magnezone quite heavily with our Garchomp now. But we've got to keep in mind that it probably has that sturdy ability. So that's something we've got to be aware of. Let's see. So it is that Pheromosa. And it's probably just going to go for an Ice Beam into my Garchomp. So I think what I'll do is switch in my Arcanine for my Tapu Lele. And no, because I want to go for an Earthquake here, to be honest. Yeah. My only real option is to kind of protect my Tapu Lele and go for an Earthquake. And I think I'm just going to do that. Because at least we'll be able to take that Magnezone down to its sash. We should be doing decent enough damage to that Pheromosa either way. But I can't switch my Arcanine in and Earthquake at the same time, unfortunately. Although that would be nice. So we do see the Ice Beam come out from the Pheromosa. Because of that Assault Vest we do survive. So we will get this Earthquake off. Which is going to be nice. It's not going to kill the Pheromosa, but hopefully take that Magnezone down to its sturdy. Yeah, so its ability sash, we'll call it. And hopefully that Magnezone goes for, yeah, Thunderbolt into the Lele. Now, we're in a bit of a situation where we're a bit locked and we need to kind of drop something, really. So ideally we need to be able to get the Drifblim in and get a Tailwind up and still have Garchomp around. So I think we might need to lose the Tapu Lele here. So I'm going to switch in my Arcanine for my Garchomp. Yeah. And just go for a Psychic onto that Pheromosa. I don't think we'll get the Psychic off. But we need to try and maneuver a board position where we can get the Drifblim in to get that Tailwind up. And then kind of sweep up or finish up with the Garchomp if possible. So yeah, we just see another Ice Beam from this Pheromosa. It is actually into that Tapu Lele, so we could have got away with it with the Garchomp and gone for an Earthquake. My opponent making a really nice read there actually and getting the Beast Boosts along the way. So, and we just see a Flash Cannon into the Arcanine, which does a lot of damage. Yeah, critical hit. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now we can try and we've got to try and get this Tailwind off. So I'm hoping that Drifblim, we're not going to have the boost though, that's the only issue. So we've got to kind of hope that we can survive at least 1+1 Ice Beam from the Pheromosa. Without the boost, I'm not 100% sure we can do that. But we're going to have to go for it, because either way we're not... Yeah. I think what I'll do to cover my bases is I'll go for a Flare Blitz into the Pheromosa here. Because if it attacks into the Drifblim, at least we'll get the Flare Blitz off and we'll take it down. So we see a high jump kick come out into the Arcanine. That is going to pick up the Chaos. So we would have been better off going for a Protect there. We get the Tailwind, and I don't think we're going to be able to survive a Thunderbolt from this Magnezone. And yeah, Gigavolt Havoc. So definitely not. No way. So yeah, big mistake there. Thinking that... You know, the annoying thing is that I said it's probably the Gigavolt Havoc variant at the very start of the match, and I completely forgot that, because going into this turn, remembering that, we could have kind of thought, yeah, well, he got that nuke for the Drifblim to take care of that, but not ideal. But we still have a Garchomp, so all is not lost just yet. So I think here we're going to have to go for a Rock Slide. And it depends as well what my opponent has in the back. Because if he's got the Garchomp, the Gyarados, going to be very difficult to deal with. So, I don't think a Rock Slide is going to be enough to KO the Pheromosa either. So we're going to have to go for a flinch and hopefully hit both targets as well. So we'll go for the Rock Slide. Like I say, hopefully we'll hit both targets. We do see the Magnezone Protect. We do get the Rock Slide. Is it going to hit? It does hit. Is it going to be enough? Oh, it's not. Do we get the flinch? No, we don't. Oh. Not ideal at all. Stupid mistakes. Because, yeah, if we protected the Arcanine that turn, then the Pheromosa would have really damaged itself. We would have had the Tailwind up. There's no risk in kind of doing that. I mean, I did explain the logic behind why I went for the attack to cover the Ice Beam into the Drifblim, but yeah, there's a Magnezone on the field at the same time, so to be honest, there was no real need to go for an attack into the Pheromosa. We just need to preserve the Arcanine, get the Tailwind up, bring the Garchomp in, and then we could have threatened the Pheromosa, threatened the Magnezone on 1 HP, and then kind of just dealt with the last Pokemon. Hopefully, you know, it might have been the Gyarados, but we would have been outspeeding it, so we would have had the Rock Slide and the Will-O-Wisp. If it was a Garchomp, we would have had the Dragon Claw and the Will-O-Wisp. So, we definitely had the tools there to finish that game off. We just didn't execute it well enough and got really complacent in that one turn and just forgot about some things. So it's a bit annoying, but these things happen sometimes. You get a bit complacent in a game and you do lose it, and it's kind of like I've kept saying this week when we've done it, it's a bit annoying that I'm repeating this from earlier in the week. But the thing is just to make sure that you're not getting complacent, and like we did in that first game where I expected the Shattered Psyche from that Tapu Lele, so rather than kind of risk it might not be coming out, I protected just to kind of make sure, so it's a safer play, so I'm playing to my odds there. Whereas that turn I wasn't playing at my odds, because we know that the Pheromosa, if it goes for the high jump kick and it hits, then it is going to take the Arcanine out. We haven't got the luxury to kind of be able to take that hit and still go for an attack. So yeah, it was just a big misplay, but good game to my opponent. He obviously played the better moves there, obviously making the nicer reads earlier in the game as well. So we can't take anything away from my opponent in that game, but hopefully we kind of take this in and give the team a really good send-off tomorrow. So that's the main thing, and we'll finish up with the team tomorrow, and hopefully give it a good send-off, and then the team review episode either on Saturday, Sunday, or one day next week. So I will make sure that's up next week. But guys, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. As always, your support was absolutely amazing. Please leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed this episode. It is really, really helpful and supportive, and also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe so you get the daily updates for when the School of Hard Knocks episodes come out, and the QR Code Showcase series, which is going to be probably on a Wednesday every week now, and then the occasional team review episodes that we've got. So we'll end things up with this team tomorrow, and we'll have the team review episode in the pipeline, so that will be out soon, and then we'll be back on Monday next week with the School of Hard Knocks with a brand new team. So I'm very excited to feature that as well. So it's going to be very good. So guys, stay tuned for that, and we'll call it a day there. But go away, enjoy the rest of the evenings, take care of yourselves, whatever you're doing, and until then, I'll see you then. So you know what I need to say now. Bye bye.